basta yero, Cherry Room, tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play! Narito na ako, Noli Iyala, kilalanin ang mga nasa likod ng bawat laro. Sa buhay man o sa playing court, game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, Sumbeshi, Bay, Lakay, Aniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Mga kwento ng pagpupursige, mga kwento ng katapangan. Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong Sabado sa inyong paboritong programa. E di paano? Bangon na! Power and Play na! Power and Play with Kom Noli Iyala. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, mga kapatid. Nagmumula po kami sa Baguio City, the City of Pines. Ako hindi ko lang mailabas yung ating camera. Dahil ang tindi ng araw, pero napakaganda rin po ng panahon. Yung pong simoy ng hangin, yung pong napakalamig na kapaligiran dito po sa Baguio City ngayong araw po ng Sabado. At kami po'y bumabati again sa lahat po, sa inyong lahat, sa ating mga suki. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive, Chooks-to-Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan, at ng True Religion, where passion meets power, of course, powered by Smart. Binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga suki dito sa Pine City, sa Baguio City po. Ngayong Sabado, ano bang petsa na ngayon? Kalagitnaan na pala ng buwan. Papambihira, sumweldo na ba kayo? July 16. Mga kapatid, July 16 na. At binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga suki sa Radyo 5, 92.3, News FM of course, and of course, naimbag na bigat sa lahat po ng ating mga kababayan dito sa hilagang bahagi ng Pilipinas, sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur, sa Vigan, Ilocos Sur, diyan po sa La Union, sa San Fernando, La Union. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Mga nanonood po sa 1PH on Signal TV, Channel 1 po yan. And of course, all over the world via Facebook Live. Marami po tayong pag-uusapan ngayon. Again, ang ating pong theme this Saturday morning ay stories about courage. Mga kwento ng katapangan at pagpupursige. Ang ating pong isang makakasama, nagpursige sa harap po ng pambihirang record, isang record na dapat kalimutan, yung pong losing streak na sunod-sunod ng kanilang koponan. Sila po ay hinarap nila ang kanilang kahinaan at nagpursige, at sila po ay kahit papaano umangat. Although ngayon nagtatatalo ang Blackwater last 3 games, but nung amin po sila nakapanayam, they were fresh from another victory. At sila po ay talagang napakaganda ng record. Ato Ular, ang rookie sensation ng Blackwater Bossing. Makakasama po natin yan. Kasama na rin si Baser Amer, ang veteran point guard po ng Blackwater Bossing. Mamaya yan, At sa ating In the Spotlight, isa rin kwento ng katapangan. Isang kwento ng uncertainty. Hindi po niya alam kung ano maaaring mangyari mga kapatid, pero si Kayla Sanchez, yung pong Phil-Canadian Olympic medal winning swimmer, ay nagdesisyon na lumangoy na po para sa Pilipinas. At yung change of allegiance, change of citizenship, ika nga, sa pagdating sa FINA, ay pambihirang kwento ng inspirasyon. Mamaya po yan, in the spotlight, Kayla Sanchez, ang ating pinakabagong swimming sensation para sa Pilipinas. And of course, another story of courage and inspiration, yung pong Philippine Women's National Football Team na kahapon ay pumasok na sa finals for the very first time. Historic moment ng ating pong football history. Pumasok po ang ating Pilipinas sa AFF Women's Championship Finals pagkatapos nilang talunin ang defending champions Vietnam sa isang lampaso, 4-0 victory sa semifinals. At mamaya po ang ating makakapanayam ang presidente ng Philippine Football Federation, walang iba kundi si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Mga kwento po yan na gusto nating ibigay sa inyo para sa inyong Sabadong inspirasyon. Alright mga kapatid, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Of course, marami tayong pamimigay ng mga premyo, kaya dyan lang kayo. Power and play na. Simulan na natin sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Nakaisa na ang Gilas Pilipinas sa FIBA Asia Cup matapos tambakan ang India 101-59. Hindi pinawisan ng national team sa tapatan kung saan pumukol ng 18 puntos si Will Navarro at 17 naman mula kay Thirdy Ravenna. Bukas na ang pinakamabigat na hamon ng national team sa tournament kontra sa New Zealand. Good luck, Gilas, Good luck tayo, Lahat po tayo magdasal para sa ating kuponan. Sa women's football naman, good news. Kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, pasok na sa finals ng AFF Women's Championship ang Philippine Women's Football Squad. Kasunod po yan ng 4-0 win nila kontra powerhouse na Vietnam. Ito po ang unang beses na makakalaro sa finals ng tournament ang bansa. Makakatapat nila bukas sa finals ang kaisa-isang kuponan na tumalo sa kanila so far, Thailand. Kaya po, lahat tayo sumuporta bukas sa Rizal Memorial Football Stadium. Sa boxing, naagaw kay Mark Magnifico Magsayo ang WBC featherweight title matapos matalo kay Ray Vargas ng Mexico via split decision. Na-knockdown ni Magsayo si Vargas sa 9th round pero hindi yan naging sapat para makuha ang pabor sa scorecard. Samantala, bigo rin ang kababayan nating si Donnie Ahas Nietes na makuha ang WBO Super Flyweight belt. Unanimous ang talo ni Nietes sa kanilang rematch ni Kazuto Ioka sa Tokyo, Japan. Sa ibang balita naman, isinawalat ni dating UP courtside reporter Agatha Uvero ang umano'y mga pang-aabuso sa kanya noon ng kanyang ex-fiancé na si Paul Desiderio. Idinetalya niya sa isang post ang mga umano'y pananakit ng Blackwater Bossing guard katulad ng pananakal sa kanya kahit pa noong siya ay buntis sa kanilang anak. Mariing namang itinanggi ni Desiderio ang mga paratang sa kanya. Nagsasagawa na ng investigasyon ang PBA at Blackwater kaugnay sa isyung iyan. Good news ulit! Nag-uwi ng ginto mula sa 2022 World Games si Phil-Japanese karate star Juna Chuki. Tinalo ng Pinay karateka si Yorgelis Salaza ng Venezuela para makuha ang ginto. Ang under 50 kg top finish ang unang ginto ni Chuki sa event. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga balita sa inyong Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku, ang dami pa po natin tinututukan, of course. Andyan ang mga laro sa PBA at of course, nandyan din po ang napakagandang laban naman dun sa The Open Championship sa Scotland, doon po sa bahay ng golf, St. Andrews Old Course, kung saan may isa pong Pinoy, si Justin De Los Santos, na lumalaban doon po sa The Open Championship and he has made the cut. Tied for 66 si Justin De Los Santos, mga kapatid, after scores of 71 and 73. Maganda po yan, Wag niyo pong minamalit yan. Bagamat minus 13 na ang leader, si Cameron Smith, yung pong even score ni Justin De Los Santos ay mas maganda kesa sa ilang world beaters katulad ni defending champion Colin Morikawa, at even ang dating kampiyon na si Brooks Koepka. Kaya maganda po yung pinapakita ng ating bata dyan, si Justin De Los Santos. Sana po ay magpatuloy sa weekend. Alright, kanina nabanggit natin ang issue tungkol po dun sa Blackwater Guard. Alam nyo, actually ako, ayoko pong pakialaman ito eh. Ayoko pong pag-usapan itong mga bagay na ganito. Sa akin pong palagay, ito po ay personal eh. Ha? At wala naman pong kaso na nakahihanay o nakalagay pa or naipatong pa. Banggitin na natin, laban kay Paul Desiderio nung kanyang dating kasama po si Agatha Uvero. Ha? Subalit ito po ay mainit na binalita po ng mga sports media, kasama na rin po ng mga mainstream news organizations. Kaya po, kahit papano, dapat po natin pag-usapan. Ha? Bagamat ito po ay pribadong issue, ito po ang ating gustong pulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Ha? Ito ba ho sa tingin nyo ay dapat maging, ano po sa tingin nyo ba ang dapat maging aksyon ng PBA sa mga isyung kinasasangkutan ng kanilang players sa labas ng court? Hindi po to sa loob ng court, hindi po to patungkol sa team nila, hindi po to patungkol sa kanilang pakikisama sa mga players. Ito po sa labas ng court, sa labas po ng kanilang profession, sa kanila pong pribadong buhay. Ano po ang dapat maging aksyon ng PBA dyan? Kung gusto niyo po makisama sa ating talakayan, mag-text lamang sa 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment po sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play at mag-tweet po sa akin sa aking Twitter account at Noli Iyala o di kaya sa Facebook page ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Yung pong aming mapipili ay mabibigyan ng 2 gift certificates mula sa Chooks-to-Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ulitin ko po yan, ang ating pong pinupulsuhan ngayon, ano ang dapat maging aksyon ng PBA sa mga isyung kinasasangkutan ng kanilang players sa labas ng court. Alright, mamaya po tayo pipili ng 2 mananalo. Pinag-uusapan ng mga mananalo, marami po tayong pinamimigay dito sa Power and Play ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Of course, tuloy-tuloy po yung ating JoyRide Top-Up promo with Power and Play. Para po sa mga mahihilig magpa-deliver, sumakay sa motorcycle taxi ng JoyRide, o doon po sa kanilang JoyRide car. Ang JoyRide po ay mamimigay ng 1,000 pesos JoyRide Pay Wallet Credits, mga kapatid. Yan po yung ilalagay sa inyong e-wallet na pwede nyo pong gamitin sa delivery, sa JoyRide car, o di kaya ay sa motorcycle taxi. Napakadali lang po. Simple lang ang mechanics. I-download ang latest version ng JoyRide Superapp, i-screenshot ang inyong app's home screen kung saan makikita ang inyong pangalan, at ipadala ang inyong screenshot. Dapat nakalagay doon ang inyong pangalan, mga kapatid, sa Facebook message ng Power and Play. At meron po tayong 5 lucky winners na pipiliin mamaya at the end of the show na mananalo ng 1,000 pesos JR Pay wallet credits. Ulit po, madaling-madali lang. At yung download po ang importante dyan. Libre naman yung download na yan ng JoyRide Superapp. Alright, mga kapatid, maraming salamat again mula sa JoyRide, ang bago ninyo pong kasundo, ang kanilang presidente, si Mr. Sherwin Yu. Maraming pong salamat. Alright, at this point, syempre, ito ang inaabangan ng ating mga kapatid sa sports media, ang ating pong Fast Take. Hatid sa inyo na Cherry.
Power and Play with Kom Noli Iyala.
Ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. At ngayong araw pong ito, again, mapalad tayo dahil mga bigatin ang ating mga bisita sa segment na ito. Walang iba kundi ang contributor from ESPN Philippines, si Kuya Sid Ventura, at ang sports editor mismo ng Philippine Daily Inquirer, si Kuya Francis Ochoa. Magandang umaga, Sid and Francis. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Magandang umaga rin, Kuya Noli. At sa lahat ng mga nanonood ng Power and Play. Thanks for having me.
Mukhang salamat, Sid. Mukhang andyan na ba si Andyan na ba si Francis? Mukhang inaantay pa natin si Francis, Sid. Pero tayo muna
okay.
Maghuntahan dito. Walang problema yan. Alam mo, Sid, alam ko, kumbaga, sinusundan natin mga pangyayari unahin muna natin dito sa buhay ni Kai Soto. And the latest news is that nagpalit na siya ng agent, no? Tinanggal na niya si Joel Bell, napunta siya dun sa parang Wasserman agency, which is a bigger agency, hawak si Devin Booker, si Russell Westbrook, etc., no? Ayun, nakita ko rin si Kuya Francis. Francis,
Hello.
magandang umaga sa iyo.
Good morning, Sid.
Hey, morning, TJ. Basta,
Alright.
long time.
Pinag-uusapan namin dito ang tungkol kay Kai. And I'll ask Sid muna. Do you think this move ni Kai Soto, Sid, of changing agents ay makakatulong sa kanyang karir?
Well, kung bigger agency, kung sa tulong lang, tingin ko naman mas maraming contacts itong bagong agency nila na pinili niya. So, let's see where it goes. Mukhang dead end yung summer league. And he'll probably go back to the NBL for next year. But yes, in terms of helping his career, if the agency is bigger than the previous one, it will definitely help him.
All right. Well, Francis, alam natin that, of course, lahat tayo nakataya kay Soto, kumbaga, no? And, my position has always been, ako ito masakit man marinig, but this is fast take, Pero feeling ko, medyo hindi masyadong magandang pagkakahandle sa kanyang first part of his career. I mean, I think there were many decisions that we can second guess, of course, no? Magagaling tayo dyan, mga couch analysts, no, kami. Pero, do you think that so far, his career has, more or less should have gone the way that it should at this point?
Well, I think more than sinasabi mo nga, maraming decisions that I think it was indecisions that really hurt. There were so many things that could have been done that weren't done, and there were so many messages that from the team that was coming across so differently. So I think they could really have done a better job, and I think that Kai could have really benefited a lot with certain decisions, sabi ko nga, pero it's all hindsight na, no? So but it's just exciting that they're with he's with a new agency right now, which has a wider reach. So hopefully that pans out into something more positive.
All right. Well, before we go to the fast take issue, I just want to ask you one more thing, guys. Itong nangyari kay Paul Desiderio, no? Alam natin this is a private matter, and alam ko kayo nasa sports media, kadalasan hindi niyo pinapatulan yung mga ganyan because that is really something that is very private. But itong action ngayon na papakialaman ng PBA at ng Blackwater, do you think that is the right move? I'll begin with you, Sid.
Yes, I think it's high time na PBA start doing these things. Oh, well, yung privacy may hangganan yun If I'm not saying it's true yung allegations kasi wala pa namang kaso and na sinasampahan, but if there's other actions like that done by a PBA player, I think the PBA has a right to investigate because it also reflects on them. Actually, tingin ko nga hindi lang PBA, dapat pati GAB kaya makialam din. Kasi malaking malaking bintang yung yung hinaharap sa mga players.
Oh, yung violence against women. Francis, but this is the situation I want to ask you, mag-imbestiga ang PBA, of course, Blackwater. And then all of a sudden, nag-imbestiga ang isang DOJ o isang NBI. At nagkaiba. How does that look? I mean, unang-una, ano ang parameters ng PBA? Anong jurisdiction nila? Sino mag-iimbestiga? So many questions up in the air.
I think when we talk about the parameters of the PBA, because we all know that there's some sort of a morality clause when it comes to the PBA. They're still represented by these players. Sabi nga ni Sid kanina, this will reflect badly on them. So there's the need to check and to discipline. Besides, yung Desiderio case has been the latest of a string of accusations against PBA players over the past year. So they really need to look at it because the players are representative of the league. As far as parameters, they can maybe discipline, no? At most they can really discipline, and the problem is if they look at it differently from yung sinasabi mo nga, investigative agencies, no, law agencies, then that's gonna cause a lot of perception problems for the PBA, which really right now it cannot afford to happen to it, no. When we talk about, there's so many wrong optics already when it comes to the league's public image, so they cannot afford to do that. So they really need to be open and transparent about every investigation they do into this Paul Desiderio case.
All right. Well, I like the suggestion about the GAB getting involved. Talaga naman dapat silang regulator. I just hope that the investigation is transparent, meaning sino nag-iimbestiga, ano ang mga rules at ano ang iniimbestigahan, ano ang kasong pinapataw. Because I think everyone deserves due process. I think Paul Desiderio and of course his girlfriend, si Agatha Uvero, deserves due process as well. All right. Let's go to our fast take issues of the morning. Gentlemen, ito, madali lang. Ito, opinion nyo ang mahalaga. And of course, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit, walang tama, walang mali. Ang una nating issue ngayong umagang ito ay patungkol sa boxing. Katatalo lamang ni Mark Magnifico Magsayo at ni Donnie Ahas Nietes. Wala na tayong world champion sa kasalukuyan. Something that has not happened in a very long time. So ang tanong, nasa dark ages na nga ba ang Philippine Pro Boxing kasabay ng sunod-sunod na talo ng ating mga boksingero? I'll begin with you, Sid. 1 minute. Go!
Dark ages, medyo, I think, naman yun, harsh term, marami pa naman tayong boxers na rated sa top 10 ng 4 major governing bodies of boxing. Pero yun nga, this is the first time in nearly 16 years that we don't have at least one Filipino boxer holding a belt among the 4 major boxing bodies. So yun, medyo nakakapanibago lang yung mga pangyayari. Pero I think Philippine boxing has definitely seen better times. Marami ring nangyari the past 2 years. Nagsara yung Ala Boxing Gym because of the pandemic. And if you notice, ang tagal nang walang hino-host na world title fight dito sa Philippines, aside from yung si Rene Cuarto against Pedro Taduran. Pero I think the money has to come in order to prop up Philippine boxing again.
All right. Well, I totally agree. Matagal-tagal na tayo hindi nag-host, and I think that's a very important part in the promotion of professional boxing. Francis, same issue. Nasa dark ages na nga ba ang Philippine Pro Boxing after all of these defeats ng ating mga world champions? 1 minute, Francis. Go.
Okay, for me, we look at it this way. I think the fact that we are worried right now that we don't have world champions just really reflects on where we've been sa boxing, no? And a lot of that has been the doing of Manny Pacquiao talaga, no? And we've been spoiled internationally sa boxing because of Manny, no? But to label it dark ages, sabi nga ni Sid, I think that's a bit of too much naman, no? I think we've seen naman in the boxing scene that sometimes success in that sport can be cyclical for countries, no? Na minsan talagang nandun ka, minsan naman nasa ilalim. I mean, if you look at the United States, no, that used to be the bastion of the heavyweight division before, no? Ngayon lately, they've not been that anymore. So right now, the crucial things is we need more managers, we need more outfits really promoting the sport for younger talents.
All right. Well, I totally agree with the two of you. Of course, dark ages is indeed a dark term, no? It may be tragic, it may be sad, but it certainly isn't dire. Hindi pa tayo nandun sa sukdulan na pwesto. And I think, sabi nga ni Sid, there are many guys in the top 10 rankings sa ating 4 major boxing bodies. Ang kailangan lang talaga natin dito, konting push pa. Nawala si Ala Boxing Talagang yun sana ay malaking bagay. Sana somebody takes its place in the whole milieu ng boxing environment. All right, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Ito ay patungkol naman sa Gilas Pilipinas. Ako'y pagdating dyan, mainit ang usapan. Kagabi, we won laban sa India as expected. And of course, natalo tayo in our first game against Lebanon. So now we're facing a very important match against New Zealand. Ang tanong, sapat ba o hindi sapat ang ginawang preparasyon o paghahanda ng Gilas Pilipinas para sa FIBA Asia Cup? I'll begin with you, Francis. 1 minute, go.
This is basketball, so I'm pretty sure in this country, everything that Gilas will do in terms of preparation will not be enough for our fans. No, we're really very passionate about it, and more importantly, all our fans are so knowledgeable when it comes to basketball, so they know the extent, they see what's going on. But we also have to look at the fact that yun nga sinasabi, we're looking at the long game here, and it's not much time, but still, I think there are a few processes we need to correct when it comes to building this team for the World Cup. The acquisition of the players, getting them together, finalizing, or at least having a direction as to who the team is gonna look, what the team is gonna look like. Those are the things that really have to come to fore right away, because it's almost just about a year na lang siguro before the World Cup starts, and we really need to get Gilas to get its act together.
All right. Well, talaga tama yan. About a year before the FIBA World Cup na tayo ang host, and obviously ayaw nating mapahiya dyan. All right. Same issue, Sid. Sapat ba o hindi ang paghahanda ng Gilas para sa FIBA Asia Cup? 1 minute, Sid. Go.
Yeah. Well, to answer the question, hindi talaga sapat. And even Coach Chot Reyes admitted this. No, na they did not have enough time to prepare. Some players joined late in the preparation process, so they're not really. They did not have the preparation that Coach Chot would have wanted. No, but that being said, ano ba talaga yung goals nila heading into the FIBA Asia Cup? Kailangan din kasing maklear yun eh. No, so the other countries, like China and New Zealand, they also did not send their best team. China muting na matalo sa Bahrain. New Zealand lost last night to Lebanon by 15 points. So, ano ba yung goal nila for entering the FIBA Asia Cup? Remember, before the start of the PBA season, they actually fixed the schedule para makalaro ang sa Asian Games, ang Gilas, ang PBA Players Asian Games, pero hindi naman natuloy. But they did not make any such adjustments for the FIBA Asia Cup. So from the start, it's understood na puro na lang to, amateur players ang maglalaro sa FIBA Asia Cup.
Well, obviously, ang priority therefore was not very high pagdating sa FIBA Asia Cup, which to me, and I've put this out there in social media, no such thing as a no bearing or walang kwentang tournament, or it's just a preparation. When we put our name in our jersey na Pilipinas, I think everything is important, especially to the Filipino fan. And more than that, I think itong FIBA Asia Cup is a gauge kung nasa na tayo pagdating sa FIBA World Cup, as Francis correctly pointed out, no? And yun nakakalungkot eh. 5 taon na tayo naghahanda from the award in 2017 hanggang ngayon naghahanap pa rin tayo ng formula. So sa akin, masakit nakita na ganito pa rin ang ating state. And I want to really see some commitment. Hindi lamang puro salita, pero sana sa gawa. Alright, let's go to our final issue of the morning, gentlemen. Ito ay tungkol sa napakaganda balita naman to. Yung football natin, yung women's, ayan, kung saan historic ang pagkapanalo kahapon laban sa powerhouse Vietnam. Ang tanong, sa harap ng performance ng Pilipinas sa AFF Women's Championship kung saan pasok na tayo sa finals, ano pa ang dapat gawin upang lalo pang masuportahan ang women's football sa bansa? I'll begin with you, Sid. 1 minute, go!
Totoo pala, no? Kala ko panaginip lang. Nananalo tayo against Vietnam by 4-0. Grabe yun. Grabe yung na yun, Kom Noli, kagabi. That was a historic win, not just for women's football, but for Philippine football as well. No, Vietnam, gold standard yan. Alam naman natin lahat sa Southeast Asia pagdating sa football. And they're very passionate about their football over there. So, big win for the Filipinas, and kudos to the coaching staff. Pero going forward, I think whatever sport naman, lalo na yung team sport, in order to build more talents, ang importante sa local domestic league where players can play regularly. Medyo mahirap lang gawin yan ngayon kasi pati yung men's league nga natin, medyo nagsa-struggle ngayon eh. Pero I think that should be the ultimate goal, to sort of organize competitions for the players so that they can always play regularly. Kung hindi pa kayang professional league, the grassroots naman. Let's start building the women's football grassroots league. I think there should also be high school and college level tournaments for women's football. Let's start there, and then maybe later on we can also put up a women's professional football league here.
Well, a very good suggestion. Alam mo, actually, I'll be honest, na-miss ko yung game kagabi because dito ako sa Baguio and medyo may mga ginawa akong bagay. Pero when I look, kagaya mo, Sid, masabi ko, nananaginip ba ako nito 4-0? Then I saw the video and certainly I was not dreaming anything. Francis, same issue. Sa harap ng performance ng Pilipinas sa AFF Women's Championship, ano pa ang dapat na gawin upang lalo pang suportahan ang women's football sa ating bansa? 1 minute, Francis, go.
And I think I'll have to go with Sid on this. And I agree, no. At least kayo nung nakita nyo 4-0, tinatanong nyo nanaginip ba kayo? Ako 2-0 pa lang nakita ko. Tinatanong ko, totoo ba 'to pinapanood ko o scripted din to? I have to agree with Sid. Nothing really beats having a local league. That way the players get to play with and against each other to all the more familiarize themselves. Plus, it really improves their skill, no. And more important talaga is we start to recognize that these are sports that we need to highlight. Even for us in the media, we have the UAAP football. I think we should give them a lot of coverage because this will encourage more supporters. We have to admit it's gonna take a lot of money to run this, and the only way to entice that money to come in is through exposure. So I think having a domestic league, having a strong grassroots league that is also exposed by the media will really be helpful for the program.
I love it. I love that particular idea na exposure ng media and of course the more support, no. That's really something that's very important. Alam naman natin kaya lumaki ang basketball and now even volleyball because of the exposure that media has given to it. And of course, yung airtime nila sa TV. But I think we have to credit PFF because yung recruitment nila, yung Coach Alan Stajcic has of course been a very positive contributor sa programa. I think they're on the right track. I just hope, kagaya na sinabi ni Coach Alan Stajcic, that more and more Filipinos pack the stadium because I think this Filipinas deserve, at least tomorrow, that we show our gratitude for what they have done so far. Gentlemen, as usual, it's always interesting to talk to you. Sana mas mahaba pa ang panahon. I hope to get you back on the show again next time. Maraming salamat, Sid and Francis, sa oras ninyo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan from the sports media, walang iba kundi si Sid Ventura at si Francis Ochoa. Pambihira yung ating mga usapan pagdating sa palakasan. Alam naman ninyo, yan ang mga nakakaalam talaga, mga veteran senior journalists natin pagdating sa sports. Alright, at this point, isang paalala lang po from Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit, credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. At kami po ay magbe-break sa oras na 8:34 sa aming pagbabalik. Makakasama po natin walang iba kundi ang Pangulo ng Philippine Football Federation, si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks-to-Go at ng True Religion.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks-to-Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks-to-Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chooks2godelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda. Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom.
Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
May krisis sa edukasyon. Huli ang reading comprehension skills ng ating mga mag-aaral.
The country performed the poorest out of 79 countries in reading literacy.
Nananatiling issue ang access sa magandang kalidad ng edukasyon. Maraming kabataan ang napag-iwanan, lalo na ngayong pandemya.
Pero yung aking lalaki talaga, mama, yun talaga nag-sobrang degrade. Muntik na nga hindi makagraduate. Sabi niya, mama, gusto ko nang pumasok.
Walang sapat na resources para sa mga guro at kulang ang nutrisyon ng mga mag-aaral. Marami pa tayong kailangang gawa na aksyon. Kailangang gawing prioridad ng edukasyon ngayon. Bumoto para sa edukasyon.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom.
Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Pagsapit ng alas 5:30 ng hapon, nagbabagang balita't impormasyong dapat malaman. Mainit na ihahati mula sa frontlines. Mas maagang pagbabalita para una kayong makasagap ng mga impormasyong dapat nyong malaman. Mapagkakatiwalaan, maaasahan at patas sa pagbabalita. Yan ang hatid ng Frontline Pilipinas. Mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 5:30 p.m. live dito sa TV5. Isang bayan para sa gilas. Witness all the exciting games at the FIBA Asia Cup 2022 from July 12 to 24 on One Sports and One Sports Plus.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom.
Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Umpisa na ng salpukan!
Malonzo. Attack. Malonzo! Down!
Mga bago at veterano, game na sa mas matinding sagupaan.
Tenorio, he will fire. It goes with
Huwag na nating patagalin pa. Game na! PBA Season 47 Philippine Cup, Wednesdays to Sundays sa TV5 at One Sports. Singgaling na, singkulit pa. Singgaling Kids! Simula July 16, 6 p.m. sa TV5.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play. Game na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Nagbabalik po tayo dito sa Power and Play live from Baguio City. Again, kung gusto ko lang sanang ipan yung ating camera pero medyo malakas ang araw, but it's very nice here. Napakaganda ng panahon again. Kung kayo po may panahon para magpahinga o di kaya magano lang, side trip, talaga naman, Baguio is the place. Siya nga pala, happy birthday to Boss Manny V. Pangilinan, ang chairman po ng PLDT, of course, Chairman Emeritus ng SPP. Happy birthday last July 13. I'd also like to greet happy birthday to Coach Jong Uwichiko. Kahapon naman, si Coach Jong Uwichiko. Happy birthday, Coach. Nandun siya sa Jakarta. Also as part of the team ng Gilas, coaching staff ng Gilas, Pilipinas. I'd also like to say happy birthday to my son, Fabio, who also celebrated his birthday last July 13 naman. Happy birthday, buddy. Alright, at this point, mga kapatid, pinag-uusapan natin ang pambihirang panalo ng Philippine Women's National Football Team, yung pong Pilipinas, sa AFF Women's Championship. It is a historic moment for the Philippines, and of course, kailangan po tayong lahat ay magpasalamat and take pride because this is our team. This is the team, kahit na yung mga pangalan medyo foreign sounding, puro po yan dugong Pilipino, and again, they have given us something to be proud about. And today, makakasama po natin walang iba kundi ang presidente ng Philippine Football Federation. Suki na natin dito yan. Si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Magandang umaga, Nonong.
Magandang umaga, Kom Noli.
Thank you so much.
Thank you thank you again for making me your guest. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Alam mo, talagang pag ganitong panahon na napakaganda ng pinapakita ng ating women's team and of course under the football program ng PFF, talagang kailangan makausap kita. Nong, unang-una, historic moment kahapon, a decisive win. Pumasok tayo for the first time in our history sa AFF Women's Championship after talunin natin ang SEA Games gold medalist, ang defending champion ng AFF na Vietnam in a 4-0 massacre. Hindi lang 1-0 o penalty kicks. What are the thoughts going through your mind right now, Nonong?
Well, of course, nung yung pagpanalo natin kagabi, parang sabi nga natin it's a miracle in Manila. We did it with the Ascals before, and miracle in Hanoi when we beat Vietnam also. So parang yesterday was another historic moment for Philippine football. And never in the history of the Philippines that I think we have entered the finals in any competition, men or women's, in football. So,
wow.
Parang, hindi ko maalam. Sabi nga ni Francis kanina, parang nananaginip. Kasi, when we saw Vietnam play against Myanmar, parang wow. Sabi nga ni Coach Allen pa it's very difficult. But I give my hats to the coaching staff kasi iba yung ginawa nila sa team, rotating the players. No joke to play 5 games in 9 days, 5 matches in 9 days before the semifinals. So para talagang inaral nila kung sino mapapasok ng players, fitness of the players, lahat yun. So hats off to Coach Allen and the coaching staff. So of course, Noli, pasalamat tayo dito na we were able to host the AFF Women's Championship, otherwise hindi natin nakita itong historic moment, na sinasabi natin. And I would like to give thanks to a lot of our, lahat ng tumulong sa atin, like PAGCOR, Philippine Sports Commission, di ba? MVP Sports Foundation, lahat yan, mga ICTSI, sina Alvin Carranza, sa DOH ba yan, yung kanyang advertising company, lahat yan tumulong, yung Phytos Industries, dun sa mga mask, sa yung mga machines against COVID na nagamit natin sa mga dressing rooms at saka sa VIP areas. So lahat yan tumulong sa atin, saka nagpapasalamat tayong sa lahat na yan. At saka of course, we have to thank God. We have to thank God for these miracles. Yeah.
Malaking bagay talaga lahat na nagsama-sama, and of course, yung sinasabi mo kanina nung this was really a lot of preparation, yung scientific way of doing things, yung sabi mo nga napakahirap maglaro ng 5 games. And when you talk about those 5 games, no, dominant performance, ang nangyari, we only dropped 1 goal in this entire AFF running up to the semifinals. Tinambakan natin ang Singapore, tinambakan natin ang Malaysia, and of course now Vietnam. We won narrowly against Australia and we lost very thinly against Thailand. Are you surprised, unang-una, with this kind of performance by the women, or were you expecting this? No.
I was expecting them to perform very well, especially dito sa Philippines, because they had to show something to our kababayan. Dito mismo sila naglalaro, no? So they were so thankful that they were able to play here in our country. Kasi ever since we formed this team, hindi sila nakalaro dito sa Pilipinas. They've always been out, and with the preparations that we have made, friendlies against Ireland, in Turkey, friendly against Bosnia and Herzegovina, friendly against Fiji. So yun nakatulong din sa match fitness nila, at saka sa pag-gel ng team. So of course the 4-0 is very surprising. But we had high hopes for them. Yeah, we had high hopes that they will deliver. The Filipinas are so hungry, for a medal or for a win here in the Philippines, especially in our home soil. So talagang
nakakapagtaka nga na sinasabi mo na first time na ever naglaro sila dito sa ating bansa, and that is credit to you, credit to the PFF na again naisip niyo dito tayo and of course binigay sa atin ng hosting ng tournament. But again, when you talk about the keys to this, yung preparation, international exposure, but one thing that I noticed, Nonong, is the fact that we have so many good players, hanggang kaduluduluhan ng bench. Kung humugot si Coach Allen, kayang maglaro. Meron siyang ipapasok sa last few minutes ng laban from the bench, and they will deliver. Sarina Bolden sometimes comes off the bench and she's the leading scorer ng ating koponan. What has been the success story here in terms of recruitment? Paano niyo nagawa ito, Nonong?
The recruitment has been going on for several years already. Some of these players have played in their under 14 before, so we've been holding the training camps in the US before. I've been in preparation for the Asian Cup 4 years ago. We were in the US for a camp in Corona. And tuloy-tuloy naman yung ating recruitment. Ang importante na they have a parent who is a Filipino. So yun ang importante. All of these players have. So yun ang natin na parang hindi tayo mag-naturalize dito, no? Because we have enough talents to tap. It's just a matter of looking for them. Ganon.
All right.
And at the same time, we have local players who have been playing here. Sina Camille, sina Ina, si Anika, at saka si Sarah. Those are the players that we have developed from here.
All right. Now that we are in the finals, of course, we're expecting a big game tomorrow laban sa Thailand na we narrowly lost to. Pero how does itong performance natin dito sa AF, Sir Nonong, how does this figure into the preparations for the FIFA Women's World Cup next year? In terms of readiness, sa tingin mo, nasang level na tayo at this point? And what else are in store for the team moving forward to the World Cup next year?
Actually, ang idea ni Coach Allen to expose the team is para medyo yung ating ranking will improve. And if our ranking will improve, by October, meron tayong tinatawag na hindi tayo dun sa dulong-dulo, no? So maybe in the 4th pot tayo, not in the 5th pot. Kasi at least we have one pot lower than us. Kasi pag nasa 5th pot ka, talagang madugo yun, no? So yun ang inaano natin, yung ranking natin tumaas para at least doon tayo sa tinatawag na fourth pot or whatever doon sa draw. So we're really preparing sa draw. And I think Nakakasama, they will have a friendly in the US in September against the host country. Yun pa ang inano natin yung parang wino-workout pa. So we're sina Coach Allen, they're looking for opponents talaga na to play against. So at least to prepare the team. Nakasama naman ito sa schedule itong AFF. Actually, pati yung Asian Games sana na-scrap, no?
Oo nga.
So yun ang nangyari na nawala doon yung Asian Games natin. Pero yung AFF Championship nakasama ito sa preparation.
Well, si Coach Allen called for a packed stadium. Sabi nga niya nung unang panalo natin against Australia, and the crowds have been growing bigger and bigger by the game. And kamusta? How are you happy with the support that the fans have been showing the Pilipinas so far, Nonong?
Yeah, I'm happy for those that have watched the games in Rizal because they are the passionate fans. Nakita mo naman yung ultras doon, yung talagang sayaw, yung drums, We don't want passive spectators. We want those, we want spectators who can really support the team. Nagwawala. And really give moral boosts to the team. Yun ang nangyari dito sa ating So I hope that on Sunday, the fans will be so passionate really to to support the team so that they can play in the next level to beat Thailand.
All right. Well, we're certainly hoping that bukas talagang punong-puno na ang Rizal Memorial Stadium because we need it. Kailangan natin yan. And of course, para gulatin na rin natin ang Thailand. Nonong, let's go a little bit outside muna, digress to the Ascals. The Ascals, of course, have not had the same fortunate results so far. What do you think what are the biggest challenges for the Ascals so far? Kaya hindi sila nakakakuha ng ganitong results kagaya ng nakuha ng Pilipinas.
Ay kasi sa Pilipinas natin, di ba? They were able to play several games abroad, ganyan. Because these players really wanted to play for the team na kahit wala yung club nila, they were not really by the clubs. Kasi sometimes it's so difficult to release players kung hindi window ng FIFA windows,
Right.
Because they have responsibilities to their clubs. Ang pinakamalaking challenge dyan is how really to think of a way na parang yung mga players natin from abroad and from the local leagues will be able to gel in such a short period of time, So we really need the coach really has to think about that. And kasi we don't have the luxury of playing for 1 month or having a camp for 1 month or something like that.
Right.
The only camp that we need is 4 days before competition or 5 days before competition. So we really have to face that reality, that this is the only way is for the coach to really think, of a way to have these players, even if they don't play, they play in different clubs, but if they play for the national team, they will play as a team. Yun. Yun ang
siya nga pala. Siya nga pala, talking about the coach. Si Coach Allen ba is signed up all the way to the World Cup na?
So he has signed up all the way to the World Cup,
Alright, that's good
so ano na yon. And thanks to Jeff Cheng, who is the
Yes.
Yun ang namin manager. He's been spending a lot for this team. I forgot to mention him. Sorry, Jeff.
Alright. Ito, isang kaibigan ko may anak sa U19 natin, sa under-19 team natin, which was also competing, I think, in Singapore ba recently? Lumaban din sila.
Sa men's.
Sa men's.
Oh, yes. They were in Jakarta, We were in the group. Okay. We were in the group of Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia.
And they really had that great experience. Of course, iba pa rin. How are our younger teams, yung youth program natin nung sa PFF? Kamusta?
Tuloy-tuloy naman yung, of course, we started with the under-19 competition nationwide here. Kasi, yun lang inaalaw muna eh. But, we have dapat nung bago mag-pandemic, we would have started with the under-15, under-17, and under-19. Now, meron tayong under-16 team na piniprepare because they're going to compete in the AFF under 16 again for the men's. And our under 18 for the women's will also go to Palembang to compete in the AFF. Tuloy-tuloy yung ano natin for our locals at saka yung ating preparations for these competitions. And ang pinaka-importante nga yung league natin dito, yung competitions natin dito.
Yun nga.
If they will allow us to have these competitions, the authorities will allow us to have these competitions, then naka-ready naman ang PFF to have these competitions nationwide, you know. Yun ang problema dahil sa pandemic. Ngayon may booster kailangan. Yung under 19 nga namin parang before 18 and above lang pwede. Sabi ko, isang age group lang yan. 18 years old lang yan.
18 years old.
16? Bakit hindi pwede maglaro? You know?
Di bale.
They're playing outside. I mean, in the field. You know, for their health. So sana maano ng mga authorities natin that, you know, sports is something that, you know, can prevent also this COVID, you know. If they play outdoors.
Sana nga payagan na yan ng ating interagency, no, na task force na makapaglaro na, because napakahalaga niyan. Of course, kanina binabanggit yan nila Sid at saka ni Francis na mahalaga yung liga, no, yung mga liga, lalong-lalo na dito sa success ng ating women's program. I think it's important that we start really coming up with that league para sa ating
mga grassroots. Wala eh. For the past 2 years, wala tayong grassroots. Kasi they're not allowed to play even face-to-face, wala, di ba? Sa schools. So, naantala talaga yung ating program for 2 or 3 years, parang gano'n, Noli. So, but sinasid nga kanina at saka si Francis, sabi nila yung Women's League, we have a Women's League for the past 5 years.
That's good to know.
And a lot of people now are interested to go into, you know, partly finance the Women's League. And ang plano namin talaga, Noli, is nung mga players natin na naglalaro sa national team, they'll be able to play in our local leagues.
Good. Maganda yun. Yun ang maganda.
So yun ang plano that, you know, to put them in different teams and really compete against each other. Parang gano'n.
And you know, after this performance, I'm sure marami talagang susuportahan dyan because napakaganda naman ang ipinapakita talaga ng ating women's team, you know, from Hailey Long to Sarina Bolden to Queenie Quesada to everyone there. Sana pati si Olivia McDaniel makapag-goal keep sa atin sa ating liga dito. But you know, again, this is the time now. Sabi nga nila, samantalahin natin itong pagkapanalong ito because certainly the support and the interest is there, and I think we should really hammer out something really nice. Before I let you go, Nonong, your final message to the Filipino fans, Filipino football fans, ngayon na tayo ay on the eve of what could be our major championship, the first natin dito sa ating bansa pagdating sa women's football. Nonong?
Of course, we want the fans to pack the Rizal Memorial tomorrow to support our team. You know, it's a historic moment for our team that they are in the finals. You know, and it's gonna be historical also if we win the finals. And for those that are not there, we need your prayers for our team for our players to be safe, no injuries, and for them to win tomorrow. Yun lang, Kom.
And let's hope that maganda ang weather tomorrow. At then, of course, that everyone will be there. Mga kapatid, let's support our Filipinas, the Philippine Women's National Football Team. They are already World Cup bound, but a championship at the AFF would be something that would be special for the Filipino people. Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta, marami po salamat sa oras na binigay niyo sa amin and good luck tomorrow sa ating...
Thank you, Kom, at saka sa mga lahat na nakikinig kay Kom sa kanyang podcast. At saka, you know, anytime, Kom.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat.
Okay, thank you.
Mga kaibigan ng Presidente ng Philippine Football Federation, si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. What a moment para sa ating bansa, ang ating Pilipinas. Fighting for a championship bukas. Huwag po ninyong mamimiss yan. Kung hindi kayo makakapunta ng Rizal Memorial, manood na lang kayo sa One Sports at One Sports Plus. Tapalabas po yan ng ating signal. Oh, talking about that, happy birthday nga pala, belated, kay Ma'am Jane Basas, Pangulo at CEO of Media Quest. Kahapon po na siya ay nagsapit ng kanyang birthday. Happy birthday, Ma'am Jane. Alright, mga kaibigan, before we take a break, let's visit some of our viral videos and pop culture pagdating sa sports sa ating Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Ang ating pong video, ang pamagat ay No Place is Safe. Alam ko nakaka-relate kayo dito ha, yung mahihilig pa sa mga arcade. Panoorin niyo itong video na to ha. Kita niyo naman si Kuya todo dribble ha. Panay ang dribble dito sa isang arcade ha. Tapos akala niya nakalusot na siya kasi nawalang pantay eh. Pagtalo niya, ayun, nasapal. Meron pala nag-aabang doon ha. Akala niyo libre na, 'di ba? Pero no place is safe kahit sa arcade, kahit pa yan si Steph Curry. Talaga pong pambihira ang mga gagawin natin basta pagdating sa basketball. At yan po ang ating stop and pop and moment dito po sa Power and Play. At kami po ay magbe-break sa aming pagbabalik. Ang makakausap natin, mga bituin ng Blackwater Bossing, si Baser Amer at si Ato Ular sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks-to-Go at ng True Religion. Ang oras po natin, eksakto alas 9 ng umaga.
I dare to dream big. To be a voice of my generation. To inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice. Naswak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks-to-Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks-to-Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa Chooks-to-Go-delivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Ang oras, 9:02. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maasahan mo.
Ingeloxin po, papaano nabubuo ang tiwala? Kapag nangako at hindi binigo, pangako ng Rhea Generics, ang pangkaraniwang Pilipino ay magkaroon ng kakayahang bumili ng mga tunay na world-class na kalidad ng gamot. Kapartner namin ang mga kilalang eksperto sa buong mundo. Kaya maaasahan mo na ang kalidad, husay at bisa ng Rhea Generics ay kapareho ng mga branded na gamot. Ganyan tumupad ng pangako ang Rhea Generics. Ang galing ng mundo, dinala sa Pilipino. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo.
Ang Rhea Generics ay gawa ng Pfizer, Viatris, Sanofi, GSK, Otsuka, Merck, Fresenius Kabi, AstraZeneca, OEP Philippines, Lundbeck at Boehringer Ingelheim. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maasahan mo.
Simula dati pa, favorite ko na magkape tuwing umuulan. At simula dati pa, favorite ko na ang Dunkin' Brewed Coffee. Kasi simula dati pa, its signature taste never changes. Kahit ilang tag-ulan pa ang dumaan. Simula dati pa, there's nothing like Dunkin' Brewed Coffee.
Dunkin', pasalubong ng bayan. Ang oras, 9:03. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Nestle Boost Optimum. Lakas makabagets.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Simula dati pa, favorite ko na magkape tuwing umuulan. At simula dati pa, favorite ko na ang Dunkin' Brewed Coffee. Kasi simula dati pa, its signature taste never changes. Kahit ilang tag-ulan pa ang dumaan. Simula dati pa, there's nothing like Dunkin' Brewed Coffee.
Dunkin, pasalubong ng bayan. Ang oras, 9:04. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Nestle Boost Optimum. Lakas makabagets.
Meldian ko po, Pilipinas. Bakit iba ang Rhea Generics? Ang Rhea Generics ay isang pangako na ang pangkaraniwang Pilipino ay magkaroon ng kakayahang bumili ng mga tunay na world-class na kalidad na gamot. Kapartner namin, ang mga kilalang eksperto sa buong mundo. Kaya maaasahan mo na ang kalidad, husay at bisa ng Rhea Generics ay kapareho ng mga branded na gamot. Kanyan tumupad ng pangako ang Rhea Generics. Ang galing ng mundo, dinala sa Pilipino. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo.
Ang Rhea Generics ay gawa ng Pfizer, Viatris, Sanofi, GSK, Otsuka, Merck, sina, AstraZeneca, OEP Philippines, Lundbeck at Boehringer Ingelheim. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo. Ang oras, 9:05. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maasahan mo.
Power and Play. Team na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Muli po, nagbabalik kami dito sa Baguio City para sa muling pagtatanghal ng Power and Play this Saturday. At of course, gusto natin po magpasalamat sa lahat ng ating mga very kind sponsors sa kanilang patuloy na pagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Unahin ko po ang Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid. Sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum kapag may aluminum tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum.
Thank you!
Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. How neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Bet you didn't know that the all-new Cherry Tigo 8 Pro has all these features and more at a very affordable price range. Cherry Tigo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features. Kasama na po dyan ang lane keeping assist, traffic jam assist, at integrated cruise assist. The flagship Tigo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Cherry Tigo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. With just 3 hours of charging to full battery, you can already drive up to 95 kilometers using electric driving only. If you run out of electricity, you can always switch to gasoline. No worries about running out of power. The best part is that both the Cherry Tigo 8 Pro 1.6 turbocharged and Tigo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle comes with premium preserve. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Cherry dealership near you. Chooks-to-Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Try also Chooks, the first dine-in restaurant ng Chooks-to-Go sa Lipa, Batangas. Chooks-to-Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan.
Thank you!
True Religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison, Mall of Asia Complex, or sa Resorts World Manila, or at Hacienda Designer Outlet in Silang, Cavite. True Religion, where passion meets power.
Thank you!
JoyRide, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Get the latest from JoyRide by downloading their latest JoyRide Superapp. So visit JoyRide now and enjoy their motorcycle taxi, JoyRide car, and their JoyRide delivery. JoyRide, ang bago ninyong kasundo.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging or aging center. With branches at Alabang Town Center in Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessments, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886.
Thank you!
Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, ground floor, Calle Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo meal. Elms Seafood Paluto. Asaya Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asaya Subic Beach Resort. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Maraming pong salamat sa lahat ng ating mga supporters ng Power and Play. Alright mga kapatid, at this point, alam niyo po, napakaganda ng pagsisimula ng Blackwater Bossing dito sa Philippine Cup. Although recently, they've had another 3-game slump. Kagabi lamang ay natalo sila sa NLEX Road Warriors, getting their 3rd straight defeat. But prior to that, they were on top of the team standings with a 5-1 record. At ating pong naabutan ang dalawa sa rason kung bakit umangat ang kanilang paglalaro. Saan ba nanggagaling o nahuhugot ang kanilang renewed confidence? Well, ito po ang aming panayam kasama ng kanilang star guard na si Baser Amer at ang kanilang rookie sensation na si Ato Ular. Panoorin po niyo ito. At kasama po natin ngayon, of course, ang sensational rookie ng Blackwater Bossing. Walang iba kundi si Ato Ular. And of course, ang superstar point guard ng Bossing si Baser Amer. Magandang gabi sa inyong dalawa. Maraming salamat sa oras na binigay niyo sa atin ngayong araw na ito.
Magandang gabi po. Good evening po. Good evening po. Thank you sa pag-invite po sa amin dito ni Ular.
Maraming salamat. Unahin ko muna, alam mo, sensational ang nangyayari sa Blackwater. Kayo ngayon ang pinag-uusapan. Bagamat last game ninyo, medyo kinapos ng konti. In OT, laban sa pinakamagaling na team so far sa Philippine Cup. Let me ask you, ikaw muna, Baser, no? Kasi last year, ang pinag-uusapan natin, pag ang nababanggit ay Blackwater, yung 0-29 losing streak ninyo last year. At ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan na natin ay yung napakagandang winning record ninyo. Anong pakiramdam na bago na ang narrative pagdating sa Blackwater Bossing?
Talagang ang laki ng pinagbago ng team namin compared the last 2 conference. Talagang nag-gel yung teamwork namin. Kinuha may mga trade na nangyayari. May trade yung ginawa si Coach Alvin ng mga trade. Joseph Taha nakuha namin si Ular, nakuha namin si Brandon. And ayun, may veteran kami na katulad ni Kuya JB Casio. Sobrang leader talaga pagdating sa court.
Baser, paano nyo pinalitan yung kaisipan ninyo? Coming from yung, di ba, tinitingnan nyo dati 0-29. Papasok nitong season na to na, syempre, nasa likod pa ng isipan ninyo yun eh. Paano kayo nagpalit ng mindset, papasok ng Philippine Cup?
After last conference, binigyan lang kami ng 2 weeks break ni Coach. Tapos, balik ka kami sa Ensano. Isa sa ginawa naming motivation yon na ayaw na namin maulit yung 0-24 or 23 man. Nagtrabaho kami, nag-sacrifice kami as a team. So, siguro ito yung result. Kaya kami nasa 3 ngayon.
Well, kitang-kita naman ang inyong ginawang paghahanda at pagtsatsaga. Ato, let me ask you, wala ka last year so hindi mo naramdaman yung ika nga sakit na pinagdaraanan nung bossing, no? Pero yung ba conscious ka nung pumasok ka dito sa team na to, alam mo yung kanilang record na ganon na sunod-sunod na pagkatalo at ikaw ba na-bother ka o concerned ka doon sa record na yon?
Ako po, alam ko po yung nangyari. Pero nung nakita ko yung team, malakas naman po talaga kasi kompleto po ng veterano, kompleto po ng mga player. Kaya sabi ko, kaya po namin manalo ngayong season.
Pagdating doon sa gano'n, alam mo na gano'n ng record, gano'n ng estado ng team na papasukin mo, meron ka bang pagdududa na, naku, baka hindi ako makakuha ng mga bonus dito pag ako pumasok dito? Meron ka bang ganong klaseng pag-iisip na nung pumasok ka sa Blackwater?
Wala naman po. Kasi nakita ko talaga yung mga player. Si Baser po, champion yan. Si Kuya JB. Talaga po, balance po yung team namin. Mapa-big o mapa-small hanggang sa wing. Kompleto po talaga yung team na yun. Tsaka po yung coaches namin. Tsaka laki po ng tiwala nila sa amin.
Alright. Baser, you have a 5-2 record for a while. Nandun kayo sa halos sa mga taas ng team standings. Are you surprised dito sa maaga ninyong tagumpay o success sa Philippine Cup?
Siguro hindi po. Kasi talagang pinaghirapan namin yun. Grabe yung mga training na ginapagawa sa amin ni Coach. Nagbabanting kami out of the court. Pag may mga mali kami sa training, talagang kinokorek namin. And yung ano namin, yung saka nag-team building kami, nag-open up kami, bawat isa. So I think sobrang laking, ang laking tulong yun para sa team.
Ikaw naman na to, alam naman natin na ang mga binabangga ninyo ay napakagagaling ng mga team. Kahit paano ba, kasi pero kung maglaro kayo, parang napaka-komportable ba? Yung parang wala kayong kinakatakutan. Ano ba ang nasabi sa inyo ng management? Ano ba nasabi sa inyo ni Coach para magkaroon ng ganyang klaseng kumpiyansa?
Kada every laro po, binibigyan kami ng motivation ni Coach. Talaga pong sinasabi niya, kaya natin to. Magtiwala kayo sa sistema, pati sa akin. Talagang minomotivate kami isa't isa para lalo namin galingan. Maniwala lang talaga kami sa sistema, kaya naman talaga namin. Tsaka nandiyan naman at si Kuya JB, ginaguide kami sa loob ng court. Lagi sinasabi yung mga tamang pwesto, kung saan ka ma-open, gano'n.
Mukhang napakahalaga talaga ng mga leader pagdating sa team. And of course, Baser, ikaw ang isa sa masasabi nating tinitinghala nila, no, na maging leader nitong team na to. Ever since, of course, you were in the high school, in college, in the national team ng youth team. Kahit nung pinili ka ng Meralco in the 7th pick, ikaw talaga was meant to be a leader. Alam mo, sabi ni Coach Ariel sa akin nung isang linggo, sabi niya, isa sa mga susi ng inyong magandang pagpapakita has been, pagdating sa game, yung pasahan, yung assist. Parang lahat kayo nagbibigayan ng bola, nagtitiwala. Para sa iyo, outside of that, ano pa naging susi dito sa early success ng Blackwater Bossing?
Siguro, aside from assist, siguro yung rebound namin. Kasi yun yung the last two conference na wala kaming hitman talaga. And ngayon, the addition of Ular, the addition of Yusuf Taha, the addition of Brandon. Kasi last conference, party lang. So ngayon, nadagdagan kami ng malaki. Para sa akin, yun talaga yung nag-boost ng confidence sa team, yung rebound namin. Saka may shot blocker na rin.
Well, pagdating sa ganyan, alam natin, Ato, ikaw ang leading scorer among the rookies. You are one of the best rebounders among the rookies. Nag-player of the week ka na. Something that has not been done pagdating sa mga player ng Blackwater. Parang ang laro, Ato, sa'yo napakasimple. Napakasimple ng dating. Bakit napakadali ng pagkaka-adjust mo sa PBA? Sa tingin mo?
Tingin ko po dahil din po sa teammate ko kasi ang gagaling po talaga pumasa eh. Pag napupunta sa akin yung bola, talagay ko na lang sa ring. Lagi ako na-open dahil sa magaling mag-create si Baser, Kuya JB, si Rasyon. Talagang nagagawa nila ng paraan para mahanap din ako sa loob at saka sa labas.
Pero alam mo, nung isang araw, nung gumawa ka ng 34 puntos, even nung before that, nung one of your games, I think it was Terra Firma, tumira ka sa labas ng tres, at pati si Coach Ariel na sorpresa doon, no? Ano bang nakikita mong role mo dito? Ikaw ba talaga? Sa loob ka ba? Sa labas? Anong sinasabi sa'yo ni Coach?
Si Coach po naman po, kahit saan po, sabi niya sa akin, basta binibigyan niya lagi ako ng kumpiyansa, tsaka ginagawa ko rin naman po sa training yun. Maaga pa lang po, nagsushooting na kami ni Baser doon. Tinuturuan na kami ni yung tamang shooting, yung mga sa loob, kung paano pumwesto sa loob. Talagang pinaghihirapan po namin. Maganda po yung chemistry ng team namin. Talagang nagtutulungan kami. Lahat ng mga pwedeng ituro, tinuturo ng mga veterano namin.
Baser, when you look at si Ato Ular, and nakikita mo ngayon ang performance ng team ninyo, of course, he was not there last year. Ano ang naidadala sa team ninyo ni Ato outside of maybe scoring? Ano ang nako-contribute nitong bagong player ninyo?
Ang pinakagusto ko kay Ular kasi coachable, nakikinig siya sa coach, nakikinig din sa amin ni Kuya Jay. Actually, sa team namin, wala naman talaga siyang play. Wala siyang play eh. More of Bernard, more of kay Yusuf Taha. Yun lang yung play namin eh. Dahil yung defense, nakafocus sa amin, and binibigay namin kay Ular yung bola. So, dahil may tiwala kami kay Ular, kasi 9 AM yung practice, 6:30 nandun na siya nag-shooting.
Wow.
So yun yung sinusukli niya sa amin sa team. So malaking bagay si Ular, hindi lang just sa score, is yung defense niya, yung rebound niya. Tsaka wala kang maririnig na reklamo sa kanya, di ba? Pagalitan mo, pasabihan mo, siya pa magsisorry sa'yo. So siguro that's part of the game, pero on and off the court, sobrang bait ng batang yan. And I think mas madami pang mapapahirapan yan sa PBA.
Well, napaka-glowing yung words mo, Baser, for a young rookie like Ato Ular. Ato, ikaw naman, on the other hand, nakikita natin si Baser, 2 game winners already. All of a sudden, napakaganda ng pinapakita ni Baser. Ano naman ang nagugustuhan mo sa pagiging teammate mo kay Baser Amer?
Ayun nga, maganda maging teammate si Baser kasi talagang college pa lang, lagi nang nananalo yan. Kaya yung tiwala ko, talagang nandyan. College pa lang, high school, laging panalo na yan. Kaya wala akong sa last shot. Kahit sa kanya lang, kahit umiscreen lang ako sa kanya, ma-open lang siya. Kasi tiwala ako sa mga tira niya.
Well, yung confidence ninyo with one another obviously is rubbing off on the team. Baser, alam mo, last year, you had probably the lowest points sa iyong PBA career so far, no? Least number of minutes, least number of points, rebounds, and assists in your career since your rookie year, no? Nung sa Meralco, yung last year's performance mo. Pero this year, pambihira ang pinapakita mo. 2 game winners already. You've been carrying the load. Ano ba ang rason nitong paglobo ng kumpiyansa mo dito sa Blackwater this season?
Una-una is yung tiwala ni Coach Ariel, tiwala ng teammates ko, tiwala ng management. And talagang nag-invest ako ng time sa court. Gusto ko mag-extra before and after. Gusto kong i-improve yung defense and offense ko. And alam naman ni Ato yan na coachable din naman ako. Lagi ako nakikinig sa teammates ko. Lagi rin ako nakikinig sa coaches ko. So I think yun parang nadagdag yung confidence with this conference. And yun nga, ayoko na rin, hindi ako sanay matalo eh. Kasi yun nga, like what sinabi ni Ato kanina, high school, college, na ako eh, winning attitude na ako eh. So, ayoko na maulit yung 24 na talo kasi nakakahiya eh. Ayoko na babasa yung pangalan ko doon. And I think wag lang kami maging comfortable this conference kasi pag nakita mo yung standing, dikit-dikit talaga. So, every game, sobrang importante para sa akin.
Alright, I'll ask the two of you, ngayon na nagpapapanalo kayo, Baser and Ato, mas may pressure ba na alam na ninyo na, kumbaga, meron ng target kayo eh. Kayo na ngayon nung araw, sino kalaban? Blackwater, sige, kaya yan, kaya kagad yan. Pero ngayon na nagpapapanalo kayo, parang mas double time ang mga kalaban. Is there more pressure for the team? Unahin kita muna, Baser.
Of course, nandyan naman lagi yung pressure. Pero the way kasi na magtrabaho kami sa practice, kung ano yung nakikita nila sa game, ganun din kami sa practice talaga. Yung competitiveness sa practice nandun. Yung aggressive nandun sa practice. Pero hindi naman kami nagsasakitan. Gusto lang talaga namin, ayaw namin magpatalo sa practice. And ayun, lumabas sa game na kahit tumamang ng malaki yung kalaban, may tiwala kami sa isa't isa na alam namin na makakabalik kami.
Ikaw naman na to, even the top teams talagang binibigyan na kayo ng atensyon ngayon. Do you feel added pressure na all of a sudden nasa radar na kayo ng mga teams?
Sa akin, sakto lang yung pressure, hindi naman talaga yung nakaka-pressure kasi pinaghihirapan talaga yun sa practice eh. Tsaka yung lalaki ng tiwala namin sa isa't isa. Tsaka lagi namin binibuild yung sarili namin, yung sinusupport na yung teammate namin. Pag may nawawala, sinasabihan kagad para buo kami lagi. Yung 5 papasok, ready lahat sa loob maglaro ng 100%.
Alam mo yung record ninyo, 5-2, as we speak now, no? It could have been 7-0 dahil kayo natalo sa Ginebra by only 3 points. Natalo kayo sa San Miguel in overtime. You could have won that game with that shot, of course, ni Baser. But again, it could have been 7-0. Although may mga laban naman kayo na nanalo kayo ng 2 and pwede rin namang bumaliktad yun, no? Pwede rin kayong natalo. But ang tanong ko, no? Sabi ni Coach Ariel, in your last game against San Miguel, tila wala pang quote-unquote, respeto ang mga referees sa team ng Blackwater dahil doon sa laban ninyo against San Miguel, napakalaki ng disparity pagdating sa free throws na ibinigay sa San Miguel Beermen. Anong masasabi mo doon, Baser? Do you agree with that? Na kulang pa ng respect siguro ang mga referees sa laro ng Blackwater?
I think as a player, laging minimension ni coach sa amin na wag na kami makialam doon sa mga referee, may good call or bad call. Make sure lang ni coach na focus lang kami sa game. Sa mga referees, sila na bahala dyan. So,
nakita rin natin doon, of course, si Junmar Fajardo played so many minutes pero wala siyang nakuha kahit isang foul. Feeling mo ba dahil veterano at dahil of course star-studded ng San Miguel compared sa inyo, medyo dihado kayo sa tawagan?
Ako kasi sinabihan din ako ni Coach, rookie ka, mahirapan kang tawagan ng foul dyan o kahit ano. Kailangan magpakita ng gilas ka dyan. Huwag mong pansinin na lang yung mga tawag ng referee, kami nang bahala. Laro mo anong laro mo. Kusang darating yung bola sa'yo. Ganun lang yung lagi sinasabi sa akin. Basta naglalaro na lang ako, hindi ko iniisip na yung tawag ng referee. Importante sa akin, manalo talaga.
Pero in the end, paano nyo planong baguhin ito, Ato? Sa tingin mo ba, kahit pa paano sana pagdating sa playoffs, kung kayo ay makarating doon, maging makita rin yung galing ng team at siguro bigyan kayo ng tawag na dapat lamang sa isang laro?
Sa gagawin na trabaho namin, kahit anong itawag ng referee, trabaho pa rin kami para sa amin, para sa team namin. Kasi para sa amin din naman kung manalo kami. Lagi yung iniisip manalo, wag lang matatalo.
Alright. Meron kang isang interview nung ikaw ay naging best player at may mga sumisigaw na mga kakampi mo, Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Year. Ano ang thoughts mo sa ganyan? How do you deal with that at yan ba importante para sa'yo?
Natutuwa ako pag tinatawag, pero yung sinasabi lang ganun, di ko naman din masyadong iniisip yung Rookie of the Year kasi kailangan team player tayo, hindi yung pang sarili lang. Gusto ko, hindi lang ako rookie of the year, gusto ko talagang manalo kayo, makapasok sa playoffs, makapasok sa semis, makuha sa top 2. Gusto ko para sa team lahat ng ano namin, nakukuha, hindi lang para sa sarili ko.
Meron ka bang, ikaw ngayon na ikaw ay nakikilala na, Ato, kanino mo dinededicate itong laro mong ito? And of course, do you feel na marami ka pang ilalabas?
Dinededicate ko to sa family ko, talaga para sa kanila, kaya naglaro rin ako ng basket. Tsaka, alam ko marami pa akong kayang gawin sa loob ng court. Tsaka talagang sipag lang, tsaka para magtuloy-tuloy yung magandang laro.
Alright. Well, Baser, ikaw naman, just a light question. Nakilala, trending ngayon yung mga night mo na mga galaw. And of course, alam natin na si Steph Curry nagpauso niyan, but many now are saying, si Baser Amer na rin yan. Basta tumira yan, mag-night kayo. Una, is that spontaneous? At pangalawa, yan ba sa tingin mo nakakatulong para sa iyo at saka para sa team mo?
Of course, gagawin ko ulit yan. Pag may mga pagkakataon ulit na may mga dagger ako na shoot. Then, natutuwa nga ako pag pumunta ako sa mall, sa grocery, o sa labas. Ang tawag sa akin ng mga tao is night. So, hindi ko akalain na simpleng bagay na marami akong napatuwa. So, diba? So, ano lang, it's part of the game lang talaga kasi idol ko talaga si Steph Curry.
Alright. Well, as a final question, sa inyong dalawa, Baser, ikaw muna. Alam natin na malaki ang napakaraming mong tagahanga. Alam nila, very talented ka. When you left Meralco, parang marami na disappoint. Naku, napunta sa Blackwater. Do you feel that you have finally found a home dito sa Blackwater at masaya ka na dito?
Yes, sobrang love ko itong franchise na to. Sobrang babait ng mga management, Boss Jacob, lahat, mga coaches, mga teammates, and I think every conference magiging contender na kami. And maging stay healthy lang yung team at magtrabaho lang every practice.
Alright. And of course, Ato, ikaw, from a second round draft pick, now you are the leading rookie. Sa tingin mo ba ito ay tuloy-tuloy na? Do you feel that you are in the right place? Ito na ang magiging tahanan mo, itong Blackwater Bossing.
Ito lang masasabi ko, lagi ng pasalamat ko sa Blackwater kasi sila yung nakapick sa akin, sila yung nakakita na kaya ko maglaro. Tsaka binigyan ako ng chance ng coach nila, Coach Ariel, at tsaka nila Boss Jacob. Talagang sobrang lagi ng pasalamat ko sa kanila para ma-showcase ko yung talent ko sa PBA. Sila yung nakapick sa akin, top 13 na ako. Good.
Alright. Well, good luck sa inyong dalawa. Maraming nag-aabang na sa laro ng Blackwater ngayon and I'm very happy for the franchise and I really hope na magtuloy-tuloy na ang success ng inyong koponan at ninyong dalawa sa PBA. Again, maraming salamat sa inyong pagsama sa amin sa Power and Play.
Thank you, Kom. Thank you po.
At kasama po natin ngayon, of course, ang sensational rookie ng Blackwater Bossing. Walang iba kundi si Ato Ular. And of course, ang superstar point guard ng Bossing, si Baser Amer. Magandang gabi mga kaibigan ng ating panayam sa ating mga players ng Blackwater Bossing. Sana naman makalusot itong Blackwater sa quarterfinals. Mahalaga yan yung diversity, at parity sa ating liga. Alright mga kaibigan, inuulit ko po yung pong mga gusto pa sumali doon sa ating JoyRide top-up promo sa Power and Play. Again, all you have to do is download the latest JoyRide Superapp. Screenshot nyo po. Importante, nandun yung pangalan ninyo. And then post that sa Facebook page ng Power and Play sa Messenger. At kami po ipipili ng 5 mananalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits na ilalagay po o ibibigay sa inyo, magagamit nyo sa delivery, sa motorcycle taxi, at even sa ating JoyRide car. Mula po yan sa JoyRide Superapp. Alright, before we proceed mga kapatid, puntahan muna natin some of the best moments this week in sports history.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
July 13, 1930 o 92 years ago, binuksan ang pinakaunang FIFA World Cup. 13 nasyon ang naglaban-laban sa inaugural tournament. Kampiyon dyan ang host country na Uruguay na tinalo ang Argentina sa score na 4-2. Fast forward sa halos isang siglo, ang FIFA World Cup na ang isa sa pinaka-importante at pinakamalaking sporting event sa buong mundo. The inaugural World Cup this week in sports history. Wow, pambihira mga kapatid. And that's, of course, a dream that tayo sa Pilipinas ay patuloy na nangangarap sa men's team. Pero yung women's team natin, pasok na sa FIFA Women's World Cup next year. Talking about the women, ang ating pong isusunod na panauhin ay isang babae. And she has made big news lately. Ito po ang kwento ni Kayla Sanchez in the spotlight.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Si Kayla Sanchez, mga kapatid, ay isang Phil-Canadian who swam in the Tokyo Olympics. Nanalo siya ng silver medal at ng bronze medal sa relay races, 4x100 freestyle at 4x100 medley. But recently, she has decided to swim for her parents' homeland, ang Pilipinas. Ang mother po niya ay tubong Baguio, kung saan nandun tayo ngayon, at ang ama niya ay galing ng Pampanga sa Mabalacat. Nagkita sila sa OFW and what a spectacular and beautiful story of inspiration. Bakit po niya ginawa na magpalit mula sa Canada patungo sa Pilipinas? Panoorin po ninyo ang aming interview with Phil-Canadian Olympic medalist Kayla Sanchez. Thank you so much, Kayla, for joining us tonight. I know that it's a busy time for you, but really we appreciate your coming on Power and Play for this particular interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You know, of course, the news that came out is that you will be representing the Philippines, the homeland of your parents, and that's such a refreshing news. A lot of people were pleasantly surprised with that news, and so many are wondering, who is Kayla Sanchez? So before I ask you about your decision, I want to get to know a little bit about you. I read that you trace your roots from Pampanga. Do you have relatives there? And which part of Pampanga, Kayla?
I do. So that's my dad's side of the family, Mabalacat City in Dao.
All right. And your mom? Where does she come from?
My mom is from Baguio.
Wow. So they were both born in the Philippines?
Yes.
And they became Canadian citizens because of immigration?
Yes.
Terrific. All right. So, and I read also that you were born in Singapore. So, you're a citizen of the world, Kayla. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So, my parents met in Malaysia. They were OFW. And then they also worked in Singapore, which is why I was born there.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was born, they went back to the Philippines, and I was born in 2001. And once they went back to the Philippines, it was 2003 that they migrated to Canada.
I see. And ever since, you've lived in Toronto.
Yeah.
But how have you stayed connected to the Philippines? Do you come home often, Kayla?
I visited maybe 4 or 5 times now. Once I got into competitive swimming and my schedule got really busy, I was only able to make time after international competitions in the summer because I'd be training all year round.
Mm-hmm. And in Toronto, are you studying Have you finished schooling, or are you still in school?
So I'm still in school. I'm taking online courses in the meantime. It's been a work of balancing school and swimming because swimming does take up a lot of time. But I'm lucky that I've been able to study online and be able to keep myself in school.
All right. Well, people are asking. Of course, now we know you have roots in the Philippines. You have relatives, I guess, in the Philippines still. No, I mean, your lolo, is it your lolo, lolas, or whatever? Do you have relatives here?
I do. Most of my mom and dad's brothers and sisters are still here. So my titas and titos. I actually only have one lolo left on my mom's side. And some of my family has migrated to Canada, but most of my family's here.
And how many are you in the family? How many siblings do you have?
I only have a little sister.
I see. And does she swim as well?
She's signed up for lessons. I don't know how much she enjoys it yet, but she still goes to practice.
Oh, I'm sure when she sees her ate swimming and getting all of these accolades and awards, I'm sure she get around to swimming as well. But the question I have, Kayla, is you trace your roots from here. You have relatives here, and obviously your parents are both Filipinos. How much of you is a Filipino? I mean, do you practice Filipino traditions? How much are you connected? How much is your home connected to Filipino culture back in Toronto?
Yes, so ever since I was young, my parents always spoke Tagalog to me. My tita that would take care of me while my parents were at work spoke Tagalog to me. So I understand it, and now that I'm here in the Philippines, I've been perfecting my speech. I want to get better. We participate in most of the traditions. Our family that is in Canada, we're always together, making sure that we're eating meals and celebrating birthdays, Christmas, the main holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, even Holy Week for that matter. Because I know that's something that's very big with Filipinos getting together during Holy Week. Do you have a favorite Filipino food?
Oh, I don't have a favorite because I've been exposed to so much Filipino food. My tita and my dad cook so much.
Oh, your dad cooks, huh?
Yes, he's the cook. Part of what fuels me for swimming.
Wow.
My favorite is longanisa. That's probably not the right answer, but it's so good.
Yeah, but what kind of longanisa? Because there's so many kinds of longanisa. You have a Baguio longanisa actually. There's a vegan longanisa and many more. Which longanisa do you like?
It's the one that's sweet and salty. I think it's the one from here, Kapampangan.
Kapampangan. All right. Well, people love the garlicky and the peppery and the salty kinds. Terrific.
Yes.
Have you been around the country? Do you have a favorite place to visit in the Philippines aside from Pampanga and Baguio, of course?
In 2018, our family went to El Nido. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, and to be able to go on the boats and see different parts of the islands there, it was beautiful.
Right. When you talk about your culture, your tradition, the places in the Philippines, and obviously your connection to the Philippines, how much of that ties up to your decision to represent the Philippines?
It's a huge part of it. Family is very important to me, and to be able to make this decision for my family as well as for myself and for my culture here, it means the world, and it puts so much more meaning into what I do. So I'm super lucky to have that opportunity to be able to represent the Philippines.
Was that a difficult decision, Kayla? Choosing, of course, you've swam for the Canadian national team, you've won an Olympic medal, a couple of them for Canada. Was it difficult to make that decision and switch to the Philippines?
Yes, if I'm honest, it was a difficult decision. I started training in Canada, but I had a lot of support from all my teammates and my coaches, and I was already at the point in my life where I needed to make a decision for myself, where I wanted my future to head and to start a new adventure. And I'm glad it took me this route. It was a matter of timing, and I think that this was the right time.
Were you persuaded, or discouraged, or otherwise, told by Canadians swimming officials, hey, you better stay here, it's better here, you get more benefits. The Philippines is not going to make it to the finals. Did you get into that situation where you kind of had hesitation about that decision?
I definitely had full support. No one told me that I wouldn't succeed here or anything. I think, it was just an unknown road, but at the same time, it's just, there's so many possibilities, and I knew that Philippine swimming would take care of me here. And this is where my family was. I'd have the support here as well. I've seen the facilities now, and they're absolutely amazing.
Right.
I've met my coaches and developing new relationships, and everything seems to be going well. And I'm just so excited to be able to start training here and to be able to establish a routine.
I can feel the excitement, Kayla, and I'm getting excited as well. I'm sure many of the viewers, many of the fans of swimming, and a few are beginning to really get hyped with you swimming for the Philippines. But talking about that, you're very young. You're just 21, and you've already swam for Canada in the Tokyo Olympics. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about how you started in swimming, and who were the biggest influences that got you into swimming?
Yes, so when I was 15 years old, I joined the High Performance Center in Ontario, and it was a very prestigious group. The group had just come back from the Rio 2016 Olympics, so I was joining Olympians and Olympic medalists, and I was training amongst them with a great coach, and I had a lot of learning to do. I spent my first year observing. I wasn't supposed to make my first national team that year, and I ended up doing it. I qualified in the 200 meter freestyle, and I spent that first World Championships just in awe and trying to understand the high-level competition that was the international stage. And by my second World Championships, it was in 2019, 2 years later, I had established myself again on the world's team. I've learned so much, and by then I was taking on the role of, okay, I'm racing more now. I have a lot more racing opportunity. And yes, so training amongst those Olympians and Olympic medalists, they really set a culture and an environment that I had to follow. They were very hardworking, and I believe that I acquired those skills, and I learned a lot.
And, obviously, that's a terrific experience.
Mm-hmm.
Why swimming, Kayla? I mean, did you get into other sports? Was there a particular hero that you were emulating, or was there an influence in your life that, told you, hey, this is good for you? Why swimming?
Mm-hmm. I did a lot of sports in elementary school. I did cross-country running. I did track running. I also loved volleyball. And I think I was 13 years old when I had to decide it's swimming because of the training schedule. I couldn't balance a lot of other sports. And at the same time, I actually have a story. I was running a cross-country race, and I rolled my ankle on a crab apple. And my swim coach was like, okay, you're done. You need to make sure you're not getting injured. We need you for this season. And so that helped kind of guide my decision towards swimming. I loved the rewarding feeling of training and going to competitions and dropping time and getting records and standing on top of a podium.
Right. Well, that seems so fun, so exciting. You know, very few swimmers in the Philippines know that experience because we have not hit the podium in like, I don't know, 100 years, maybe almost 100 years since we had a Filipino back, I think, in 1928. But you know,
Yes.
Kayla, when I talk about that Philippine swimming, you know, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in Tokyo in the Olympics? I mean, how thrilling was that? You know, to be there. You know, after the pandemic, of course, after everyone was away from each other. How, you know, tell us a little bit about that experience in Tokyo.
It was a magical experience, and memories that I will cherish forever. Alluding back to your previous question, a swimmer that I looked up to was Katinka Hotsu. She swam for Hungary. Mm-hmm. She would win almost every event at the Olympics, and all I would see was the honor and glory that she would have from all of her hard work, standing on top of the podium at the Olympics at the highest level. And all I could think was, okay, I want to try and do that too. So in the Tokyo Olympics, I was amongst that high level, and I felt so ready. Because of the pandemic, we had received access to the pool, and we had trained for pretty much a year and a half straight. Uh-huh. So by the time we got to Tokyo, I was so ready, and I was so excited to be able to finally get up and race in that pool. Yeah. And our team was so ready. Oh, it was so much fun.
You know, you won medals in the relay, and now you're going to be swimming for the Philippines. Obviously, you'll be swimming in individual events.
Yes.
Is that going to be a big shift, a big challenge, or is that something that you've really wanted all along?
I think so. Yes, I've done a lot of relays, and actually, I was put in the position to lead off those relays, and it's a pretty stressful role because you're flat start, and when you touch the wall, that's a legitimate time. So you can be held very accountable for how fast you're going. And I think at this point in my career, I've dropped so much time, and I'm ready to do those individual events. And I think representing the Philippines now, I'm able to swim more individual events and get those opportunities. And I'm so excited because I only want to improve, and I believe that I'm getting better in those events so I can achieve greater things here.
Talking about those individual events, do you have a favorite individual event?
Oh my gosh, definitely the 100 freestyle. That's my favorite event.
Okay, so that's something that we'll be looking forward to. And when you look at yourself right now, obviously you're very young, as I mentioned. What areas of your technique, of your your entire skill level, your training, do you want to focus on and improve as you come nearer to the bigger events, especially the Paris Olympics?
That's a great question. I definitely have to work and keep working on my strength, my power. I'm not the tallest in the pool. I don't have the longest limbs, so I rely a lot on strength and power, and that's definitely through my legs. And I'm working on getting my arms to be as strong, so I can keep up with those girls and try to be on top.
Is there pressure, Kayla, do you think? Is there pressure on you? People are expecting, hey, this is an Olympic medalist. Now you're swimming for the Philippines that has not tasted any kind of Olympic glory in a long, long time in swimming. And of course, even in the Southeast Asian Games, we've had our low years. Do you feel pressure to deliver for the Philippines?
Luckily enough, in swimming, I've learned to be able to deal with those internal and external pressures.
Great.
I'm already just so excited to be able to compete for the Philippines that I'm just so excited to finally be able and to get up and show everyone what I can do.
Right.
But I feel a lot of pressure to be able to connect with the young swimmers here and to be able to inspire them to get into the sport.
Is that part of the motivation, Kayla, to swim for the Philippines?
100%.
Terrific. Well, people are asking, of course, how are you going to split your time? Will you be training in Canada as well? Or will you be training entirely in the Philippines? How is that going to be? And the other question, I guess, that I want to ask you is, are you going to keep your coaches in Canada as well?
Yeah, so for the next 12 months, I will be living in the Philippines.
Nice.
And I will be training here in the Philippines. However, I will be allowed to do camps abroad, just to be able to swim with different athletes around the world as well, and swim with some coaches who are hosting camps not in the Philippines.
Right.
I will not be training with my coaches in Canada just because they are in the center, and that's for Canadian athletes. However, one of my past coaches who has moved on from swimming Canada trains in Spain, and I believe that I will try to do a training camp with him there in Spain.
All right. I understand that there is like a residency requirement. Can you tell us about that? When do we expect you to first swim officially for the country?
Yes, so officially my first competition should be in the World Championships in Japan. That's July of next year. My 12 months residency will be complete, and I can represent the federation. I also I will be competing for the Philippines here locally sometime October, November, and that'll be my first local competition.
And you don't see any kind of roadblock coming from FINA or anyone else? Well, in a day and age kung saan nakikita natin na may mga ibang atleta na umaalis sa ating bansa, nagbabago ang kanilang allegiance o kanilang mga bansang nire-represent pagdating sa international competitions, Kayla Sanchez is a breath of fresh air, and we hope that she inspires more athletes na ika nga magbalik sa kanilang homeland para i-represent ang Pilipinas sa Olympiada at sa mga World Championships. Again, Kayla Sanchez, truly an inspiring story. Mga kapatid, bago tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang pong basahin ang mga napili naming nanalo para sa ating JoyRide Top-Up promo dito po sa Power and Play. Ito po yung mga nag-download ng kanilang JoyRide Superapp, and of course, napili po ng ating panel, and of course, sila po yung nag-screenshot. Mananalo sila ng 1,000 pesos sa kanilang JoyRide Pay wallet credits. Ang mga nanalo po, mga kapatid, ito, pakinggan nyo mabuti. Mark Stephen Beliesa, ang una po nating nanalo. Pangalawa, Basilio Pascua Jr. Pangatlo, Yema Esito. Pangapat, Renato Faustino. At ang huli pong nanalo ay si Grace Toledo. Ulitin ko po yan, Mark Stephen Beliesa, Basilio Pascua Jr., Yema Esito, Renato Faustino at Grace Toledo. You are the winners ng ating 1,000 pesos credits sa inyong JoyRide e-wallet. And again, we will send you a message kung tungkol dito, and of course, you will be credited immediately by JoyRide Philippines sa kanilang JoyRide Superapp. Congratulations once again. Ngayon naman, bibigyan natin ng mga nanalo po sa ating Pulso ng Bayan. Hatid sa inyo ng Chooks-to-Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan, 2 gift certificates. Ang dami na naman nagpadala ng kanilang mga entries, mga comments sa tanong natin, ano bang dapat na maging aksyon ng PBA sa mga issue tungkol sa mga players nila sa labas ng court. Basahin ko lang ilan. Sabi ni Rip Mill, sabi niya, they are considered as public figures and should be role models. Sabi ni Alex the Joker sa Twitter po to, the PBA should conduct its own investigation and should impose hefty fines and suspensions. Peter said, sana magkaroon din ng disciplinary action, parang administrative case bilang employer para pwera pa nung criminal case. At marami pang iba. Si Mrs. Esito, sabi niya PBA player should be a good example. Sabi ni Wenwen, dapat suspended din ang Chooks-to-Go franchise ni Paul Desiderio. Ito naman po, mula naman sa Facebook natin, ang mga sumagot po dyan, sabi ni June Barcelon, siguro naman dapat patawan sila ng mabigat na penalty. Daniel Ford, for me, dapat lang siguro na gumawa yung PBA ng kasunduan bago maglaro o bago makapasok sa PBA ang isang player na ipagbawal yung ganyang mga gawain. Si Jeffrey Safe, sabi niya, if it's personal life, tingnan muna yung both party involved, ayusin muna within the PBA itself. Po. Marami pa po, JB Manalo, Emmanuel Penson Jr., etc. etc. Pero ang nanalo po sa atin ngayong araw pong ito, unang-una po ay si Eileen Castillo. Ang sabi po niya, dapat po hindi na muna makialam ang PBA sa mga ganyang issue kasi po pribadong buhay nila yan, ay away mag-asawa kumbaga, pero kung mapapatunayan na may kasalanan talaga ang player, dun na gumawa ng aksyon ng PBA kung anong nararapat na parusa. At ang isa pa pong nanalo natin ngayon, si Melissa Batumbakal. PBA players are considered as TV personalities, and the fact that they are professional players, they should be aware of their image. Although that's their private life, they should be a good example to the youth who admire them the most. All right. Congratulations po, Melissa Batumbakal at Eileen Castillo for winning 2 gift certificates from Chooks-to-Go sa ating pong Pulso ng Bayan. Again, we will send you a private message for instructions. So, dyan po, nagwawakas ang ating pong Sabado. Again, marami po salamat sa inyong lahat. Live from Baguio City. Thank you for joining us on Power and Play today. At lagi po nating sinasabi, tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Susunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, Sumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Maniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing nating katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.